What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports. Phillies are starting up they're just started actually, their 4-game homestand with the San Francisco Giants. They take game 1, 4-3. You know, I would try to say a tightly contested pitching matchup here, but it was weird at the same time because both teams utilized the bullpen a lot, and both teams' offensives were not the best in runners in scoring position. The Phillies just happened to come out on top in that certain scenario. They got more clutch hits. They also got a very lucky break with the Giants being very lazy during a wild pitch, which allowed Trea Turner to score from second base. Trea Turner also did have a hamstring injury on that ensuing play, so he did come out of the ball game. Hopefully everything is all right with him, because that'll definitely hurt this Phillies lineup if Trea Turner comes out of it, because him along with Alec Boehm have been two of the best, most consistent hitters on this Phillies squad right now. And hopefully it's nothing long-term there. It didn't sound like it would be anything. It does sound like it's more of a precautions thing, but we're just going to wait and see on that factor. And yeah, Alec Boehm gets another RBI in this game, so he continues to find ways to drive runners home. Brandon Marsh gets a bases loaded single, 2 RBIs there. You get your 4 runs there. And pitching-wise, your bullpen was really the one to save the day today, because Aaron Nola didn't get past 4 innings. He struggled mightily in that second inning. Allowed 2 runs, just way too many walks. He walked 4 batters in that inning. He got out of the top of the first inning with 9 pitches. Okay, you're thinking to yourself, okay, maybe this could be a really good Aaron Nola start, getting some efficient outs, quick outs here in the top of the first. Let's see how this progresses for the game. And then he struggles with his location, can't throw strikes, walks guys, allows 2 runs to score, walks more guys. At the end of the second inning, he's basically around 40 pitches thrown in that inning. Went from 9 pitches thrown in the first to throwing 40 pitches in the second, to where he's over 50 pitches in his pitch count. Crazy crap there. It's just unreal that he just could not figure out the strike zone in that second inning. He did survive going in the third and the fourth inning, but then basically he just threw way too many pitches in one inning, so Rob Thompson got to yank him, and the bullpen did their job. The bullpen did their job, mainly besides Kerkering. He did allow a few hits there, but he got out of his situation, limiting the damage. Matt Strahm was really good as usual, 2 strikeouts on 15 pitches. Seranthony Dominguez actually didn't blow up. He actually was pretty solid, but is he going to build off of this? Probably not. 18 pitches, 1 strikeout. I believe he did allow a base runner off of an error by Edmundo Sosa, if I'm not mistaken. Then Kerkering, he allowed those 3 hits. He allowed a run to score, but he did trade that run for a double play, so he managed to get out of that situation, like I said, limiting the damage. And then Jeff Hoffman, dominant as always, strikes out the side. And then Jose Alvarado, he allows a leadoff hit, but then retires the next 3 batters in order to get the save. And the Phillies, they won 3 games in a row. They are now, I believe, 11 games over 500. They're 22-11, and just keep the winning going. Right now, the past couple of games, the offense hasn't been the best, but the pitching has been finding ways to get out of situations and finding ways to get you wins, especially the bullpen, because Zack Wheeler in the last game against the Angels, your bullpen found a way, even though Soto and Alvarado struggled. Today, Aaron Nola didn't have his best stuff, only went 4 innings for you, and your bullpen found a way to basically seal the deal there, thankfully. Jordan Hicks on the same side for the Giants only went 4 innings. The Phillies got him for 2 earned runs, 4 runs allowed on, the Giants made some very stupid errors today. Some weird errors in the outfield, weird errors in the infield. Kyle Schwarber had a ball to pop fly to third base, and Matt Chapman couldn't catch it, lost it in the sky and everything like that. It was just crazy stuff. This was a very weird game. This was a very, very, very weird game. And hey, sometimes you gotta win weird games. And the Phillies, they won that weird game today. Wasn't the prettiest of games, but you find a way to win. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. And for Aaron Nola, like I said, did not have his command. The command was all over the place in the second inning. And I'm trying to find a pattern here, because Zack Wheeler had the same issue Wednesday against the Angels, getting into too many deep counts. Command was all over the place, and he was only able to go 5 through a lot of pitches in a lot of innings, or in a little amount of innings. And he battled, he definitely did, but definitely not your picturesque Zack Wheeler outing. And the same thing here, not your picturesque Aaron Nola outing. And I wonder And now this isn't an excuse. It definitely isn't, but I do believe this factors into the situation. So from, with, Taijuan Walker coming back into the rotation and trying to figure out what to do with Spencer Turnbull and Christopher Sanchez, which it does sound like Turnbull is going back to the bullpen. So we'll see how everything works from there. But when you brought Taijuan Walker back in, he pitched on Sunday against San Diego, and then your next, basically in succession, you used Taijuan Walker, Christopher Sanchez on Monday against the Angels, and then Spencer Turnbull on Tuesday against the Angels. So you pitched those guys 3 days in a row, and then slotting Turnbull after Sanchez, basically adding Taijuan Walker back into the rotation, pushed everybody back a day. So Taijuan Walker pitched on that Sunday, Sanchez pitched on Monday, Turnbull pitched on Tuesday, and then you moved Wheeler back to Wednesday, which gave him an extra day of rest, where Zack Wheeler always talks about how he hates having more than 5 days of rest. He hates the 6 days of rest. He hates six-man rotations because it ruins his mechanics, and it just ruins the groove that you get in when you're on, every 5 days, basically. And for Aaron Nola's standpoint, now, if the rotation was normal, say Taijuan Walker didn't come back, Christopher Sanchez probably would have pitched on Sunday against San Diego, Turnbull would have pitched Monday against LA, and then Wheeler would have pitched Tuesday, Nola would have pitched Wednesday. And since you moved those guys back, Wheeler got the extra day of rest on Wednesday, he looked off. And then for Aaron Nola's standpoint, who was originally supposed to pitch Wednesday in a normal rotation schedule, he technically gets an extra 2 days off because you had the day off yesterday. So instead of getting 5 days of rest, normal 5 days of rest, he didn't get 6 days, he got 7 days of rest. So maybe that threw off something there with his mechanics and threw off something there. So I do think there is a factor into that. It's still not the excuse because you need to find a way to figure it out. And sadly, Aaron Nola just couldn't figure out in that second inning, but he still only did allow 2 runs at the end of the day, which is not the worst thing in the world, but you threw basically 40 pitches in 1 inning, which forced Rob Thompson's hand to make you have a quick outing, basically, and to where you had to utilize a lot of the bullpen. So hopefully for Ranger Suarez's case, this doesn't throw him off either, which I don't expect him to. Ranger is just way too calm and collected for me to see that throwing him off. I just don't see it as a chance to happen, but I've been wrong before. But overall, you did have to utilize a lot of bullpen guys today, so you're definitely going to need some deepness from Ranger Suarez tomorrow. You're going to need at least 6-7 innings from Ranger just to save your bullpen arms. I know you had the day off yesterday, and guys can pitch 2 days in a row, but then you're going to get into the stretch where you're pitching 3 of 4 days, 4 or 5 days. You don't want to get into that stretch. You want to find a way to get these guys some days off. If it's 1 day off, they pitch the next day. 1 day off, they pitch the next day because the starter goes 6-7 innings, and it saves a little bit of the bullpen. You need that. You definitely need that from Ranger Suarez on tomorrow, basically. And yeah, it's desperately needed. And if we look at the rest of the lineup today, Kyle Schwarber, he was 0-4 in this game. Trea Turner was 2-3 before he left today's game with the hamstring injury. Hopefully everything is okay with him. I should refresh Twitter just to see if there's any update there on Trea Turner. I don't think there is. I don't think there is, so we're just going to have to wait and see if there's anything for tomorrow and related to the lineup. So let's see. Tim Kelly says Trea Turner will be reevaluated tomorrow. Rob Thompson said hamstring injuries always concern you, so it's a wait-and-see process, so I do not expect Trea Turner to be in the lineup tomorrow. Edmundo Sosa came in after Trea Turner. He went 1-for-1 in his lone plate appearance. Bryce Harper, he had a good day at the plate, 0-for-1 with 3 walks, so he's getting on base. He's getting himself, in positions for other players to drive him in. Alec Bohm goes 1-for-4 with an RBI. JT 0-for-3 with a walk. Brandon Marsh 1-for-4 with a 2 RBI, which is a bases-loaded single. Nick Castellanos 0-for-4. Bryson Stott 1-for-4. He did have some hard-hit balls, and the Giants just made some nice defensive plays out there in the outfield, especially in center field with Lee. It was a hard fly ball. No, actually, I believe this was on the Rojas at bat because that was a play Rojas got absolutely robbed on, and like hard fly ball to center field, and Lee just running, just reaches out, stretches out, and makes the grab. It was a great catch and absolute robbery there. But, like I said, Stott had some good swings today, just got unlucky. And it was a weird day. Like I said, there was a situation where I believe it was Kerkering on the mound, and Conforto was at bat, and Conforto, I thought, nuked this ball, and it died right at the warning track for Nick Castellanos to make the catch. So sometimes you just need a little bit of luck, and thankfully the Phillies got away with stuff there. Thankfully they did. And for Kerkering, his ERA is still solid. It's not solid. It's more than solid. It's 1.17. But, the past couple of outings, people have been barreling the ball up on him a little bit. I think in the future, he's going to have to develop a third pitch. I just don't think you can roll with fastball slider consistently, and for major league players to not adapt to that. Now, his slider is absolutely filthy when he can locate it, and his fastball can touch 100, so he's just got to find a way to make those locations work, but sometimes when a slider hangs, a guy's going to get their barrel on the ball. That's just what happens. That's just what happens. But like I said, you won. You were 11 games over 500, so really there's not much else to complain about there. Just keep the wins going. Just keep the wins going. That's all that matters at the end of the day. And you're officially tied with the Atlanta Braves. They, I believe, have played one less game than you or two less games than you. But right now you're tied with them for first place in the NL East. That's always nice to see. And I believe you have the best record overall in baseball. Well, the Braves technically do because of the fewer games played. But you have the most wins in baseball at 22, which is always, always nice to see. Love it. Absolutely love it. There's also some trade news, actually, some early trade news. The Miami Marlins, they traded Luis Arraez to the San Diego Padres for a few prospects, so I wonder what's cooking up there with San Diego. That was very weird for that to happen, so we'll see how that transpires, but crazy stuff. Crazy stuff there. Yeah, it's Luis Arraez. This is from Ken Rosenthal. Jeff Passan broke the news first. Luis Arraez from the Marlins to the Padres for 3 prospects and a reliever. So looks like the Marlins fire sale is happening early. They're 9-24 on the year. They're just bad. They are just bad. Oh boy. Oh boy. I wonder. But yeah. Always nice to get that win. Always nice to get a win to start a homestand. I have 3 more games left in this series because if you don't remember, it is a 4-game series. Weird 4-game series, but Friday to Monday. So it's a rare thing that happens, but it does happen. And for the rest of this series, you're going to have Ranger Suarez going up against Keaton Winn tomorrow. He is 3-3 with a 3.18 ERA. In his past 3 games, he's only given up 3 earned runs in total. So he's definitely been on a little bit of a hot streak there. But he's played the Marlins, the Mets, and the Pirates. So let's see if the Phillies bats can wake up a little bit tomorrow. And then on Sunday, it's going to be Logan Webb going up against Taijuan Walker. That is going to be a tough game. Logan Webb, 3-2 with a 2.98 ERA. He got lit up in his last game against the Red Sox. He only went 3 2/3 innings, so we'll see what happens there. And then on Monday, it's going to be Christopher Sanchez going up against to be determined for the Giants. And then you got that 2-game series against Toronto at home. Turnbull and Zack Wheeler are going to be. It says Turnbull's going to be on the mound, but I highly doubt it. It does sound like Turnbull is going to the bullpen. And then after that 2-game series against Toronto, you'll have 3 games at home again, 3 games on the road against Miami, then blah, 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 the rest of your schedule. So yeah, nice to get a win. Nice to get a win. Very sloppy game, very weird game. But like I said, sometimes you just got to win those weird ones. And you managed to win those weird ones. So yeah, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So I appreciate everyone for tuning into this when you decide to. There was no stream today because my internet has been acting up, so I didn't want to do a stream and then the internet cutting out and all that crap, because sometimes when my neighbor does something with his antenna on the house next door, it interferes with my connection for some reason. I have no idea why. But yeah, that's why I just decided to do the recording, because it's been acting up a little bit tonight. But yeah, that's where we'll leave it off. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. And also use the code TTPSPORTS. $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not pass it up. See you guys next time.